Hi there, I'm Rita Morton, and I am the founder of Sacred Sorrows, and I wanted to talk to you today just off the cuff. I'm not going to use a script, and I just want to tell you a little bit about me and about the background of Sacred Sorrows, because some people have some ideas about Sacred Sorrows, and I just wanted to let you know more about it from my point of view. So before I begin, I want to start as we always do at every event at Sacred Sorrows, which is by lighting a candle. And we light a candle in honor of our children. And so I'm going to light a candle today in honor of my son, Chad. And I invite you to light a candle in honor of your baby or your son or your daughter or your grandchild's. Or you can just hold your child close to your heart as I light this candle for all of our children. Well, I'm really sorry that you're here, and I'm sorry for your loss. And even though we have had loss, I am glad that you are here and that you have found Sacred Sorrows. So I want to start out by saying that a lot of people will tell me that I started Sacred Sorrows because it would be good for my healing. And I can't even begin to tell you how many times I have to tell them, no, I didn't start Sacred Sorrows for my healing. It might help me. I mean, I'm sure that it does. But if I decided to do something for my healing, it wouldn't have been to start a whole 501c3 and take on everything that entails, although I am privileged to be able to do it. But if I would do something for my own healing, it would be much simpler. I would have planted a butterfly garden, or I would do something creative in the artistic kind of way, or maybe I would go to some of my son Chad's friends and see what they're trying to do in their lives and perhaps try to support them and help them. But that's not really how it rolled for me, and I want to tell you a little bit about that. I guess starting in high school, I went to a Catholic high school, and starting in high school, I fell in love with going on a retreat. It was called the Tech Retreat, and that meant Teens Encounter Christ. And it was so experiential that it just set me on fire. And having been raised in the Archdiocese of Chicago in post-Vatican II, I really was raised in this arena of social justice. And so I'm one of those people that I'm super grateful for the education that I had, the private Catholic education that I had. And so it just made me grasp my faith tradition, which is Catholicism, in a way that is easy for me to utilize today. I'm one of those people that didn't have a rough time in my own journey. So it doesn't mean that I didn't leave the church and come back, and it doesn't mean that I didn't have a lot of my own issues and things that I had to work through as an adult, and I'm still working through. But what it does mean is that I really fell in love with retreats. And so as I became an adult, I got involved in more retreat experiences and in women's ministry. And so when Chad died, which was in June 2019, I had been a leader of a Catholic women's Bible study since the early 2000s, so over 20 years. And during that time, we presented a lot of retreats. And I just really enjoyed making experiences happen so that women could encounter God and themselves and the mystery of grace and all the things that can happen when you take time away from your life and you go and you spend it in the quiet with yourself, with the God of your understanding. And so I was really experienced in taking care of women in ministry and in helping volunteers, and of course with retreats. So also at the time that my son died, I had 22 years plus of experience in marketing and sales. So I had a really strong business background, and I knew a lot of things about how to build relationships with people, and I really like people, so it's not hard for me to build relationships with them, and how to get things done, actually. So I just kind of had this unusual skill set that was given to me by God, that was I could dream big, but I also could implement things, and I could be really detailed. So on the weekend that my son Chad died, I happened to be giving a retreat with a co-founder of the Bible study that I am co-founder with. And I was giving a retreat to her with our leadership team. And that is the weekend that my son Chad died. And he died suddenly, and he died tragically. And it was a terrible thing to go through. But as I was sitting there the night that Chad died, all I was doing was standing on some of the things that I had walked the women through that weekend. And I just kept saying to myself, I don't know how I'm going to do this, Lord. How am I going to do this? You are going to have to take me deeper, because I'm not going to be able to do this. All right, so fast forward through a lot of pulverizing of my mind, and a lot of not being able to put sentences together, and walking around the house in circles. And if you lost a child, you absolutely know what I'm talking about. So fast forward through months of that. And then COVID arrived, and some other things happened in my career. My boss of 22 years, the owner of the company, he died a couple of months before Chad. And so there was that loss, and there were quite some changes with my career. So right when COVID happened, I, along with everyone else at my company who was over 50, got laid off. And I definitely did not see that coming. I thought that my career would be something that I would have forever, and I loved it. But you know what? God had other plans, and that's truly what it was. So during that conversation, when I was getting laid off, I just knew, okay, Lord, there's something that I'm going to have to do for women who have lost their children. So I navigated through that, navigated like all of us through COVID. And I found myself up at a retreat center in Northern California. And I was blessed to know a retreat director and priest up there. And he was really a cheerleader for what I thought my mission would be. So he helped me get up there to a 30-day silent retreat of the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius. And as I was journeying through that 30-day silent retreat, the first 4 days, all I did was cry. And my spiritual director, who was a different priest, I'm not sure he knew what he was in for with me. And it was really challenging, but I was blessed to go through that journey. And during that time, I really experienced my son Chad. And I experienced an integration of his loss, and how he is still so, even more so, deeply connected to God, and to perfect love, and to perfect light. And that loss was just so incredibly integrated, bone deep, actually, that it didn't heal me 100%. It didn't help me leave and be like, oh, I'm all good now. Like, I will never be all good when it comes to the loss of my son. But it did equip me with an understanding that I think I can help other women. And the thing is that Chad's death is what uniquely qualified me to begin Sacred Sorrows. Because if I wouldn't have had experience with women's ministry and with working with women, there's no way I could have started Sacred Sorrows. And if I wouldn't have had business experience and professional experience, there's no way I could have tried to figure out how to do a 501c3. And then if I wouldn't have lost my son, why would I want to even do this type of work or even think about it? Like, as you know, if you're a grieving mom and you're watching this, people have a really difficult time talking to us about it or being able to be comfortable talking about it. And frankly, some women will just run away. And I might have been one of those women, to be honest with you. Like, this is a really challenging topic. And a lot of our friends can't really hold the space for us. Okay, no judgment there. We all do the best we can, right? But I want you to know that I'm here and trying to help in the ways that I'm trying to help for Sacred Sorrows, because I was born for it and I was trained for it. And unfortunately, I lost my oldest son. And now it's for such a time as this that I'm doing this work. So I just want to let you know that if you do come to Sacred Sorrows, we have resources for you. And there is a lot that can help you that is based on experience that is solid. I didn't just lose Chad and thought, oh, I'm going to do something that will honor him and I'm going to try to piece it together. There's a lot of great foundations and organizations where someone that have lost children do that, and they do mighty, amazing work. But Sacred Sorrows is just this hybrid of an organization where we offer retreats to women, and on these retreats, they go deep and they connect with grace and they connect with their children, and God shows up strong. And all I'm trying to do is orchestrate that and be able to give moms the space and the soul rest and helping their nervous systems down regulate so that they can hear God. So that is one thing that happens on retreats. We also do days of renewal in person. And I'm really working hard to bring more video and more programs online to the ladies of Sacred Sorrows that may never be able to come on a retreat, that I may never meet. And I also want to try to start writing some programs that you can journey through, like pathway experiences that are kind of like little guided programs that even have homework that won't be hard. So you yourself, or you with another friend who's a grieving mom, or you in a small group of women can just try to journey through different areas of your grief and do it in a way that is full of hope, that does not focus on how your child died, because our children are not defined by the cause of their death. And that is something that is really important to me, that at Sacred Sorrows events, we don't sit around and talk about the circumstances of our children's death. And it's not because I'm afraid of it or I shy away from it or because of any kind of shame. It's because if we stir up that kind of trauma, especially in a group, it's not going to leave a lot of room for a mother's heart and soul to be open enough and calm enough to hear what God is speaking to you, or what your higher self, like your inner child, might be trying to show you. So I just want to let you know we're different and we have hope, and the tribe that we can offer you is something that I promise you, you won't regret being a part of. So I just wanted to tell you that about myself, and I'm happy to talk more about myself. But I thought it's important that you know, why did we start? How did we start? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a coach. I have no intention of becoming that, but I have an awesome toolbox of stuff that is based on my experience. And I'm also your peer. So we have a peer-to-peer program here, and we walk with each other, and we keep each other out of the river when we fall into it and are just about ready to drown. And so I just want to invite you, engage, read the website and try to get to our events. But I'm sorry, so sorry for your loss. But I promise you, if you can just do a little bit, just hang on, then and keep coming here in whatever ways work for you, you will find hope and meaning from your suffering and transformation. So that's what I wanted to tell you for today. Thanks a lot for listening.